will not take sides, but we listen to your side. Stay with us as we explore the issues, present the facts, speak with the experts, and as always, listen to both sides. What's your story? Tell us on both sides of the story by calling our local numbers 876-922-4112 to 5. You can listen to both sides of the story on the Power 106 FM app via the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, as well as on onespotmedia.com. Plus, listeners in the USA can dial 631-359-8281 to listen. And if you're in the UK and you wish to dial a number to listen to Power 106 FM, you can call 0330-606-0953. You can watch both sides of the story live on the Dervan Malcolm Facebook page. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Both Sides 106. Email bothsides106@live.com. Send your WhatsApp voice notes, audio messages, and text messages to 876-365-3346. Remember, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. So stay with us as we listen to both sides of the story.
Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Both sides of the story. Knowledge is power. Class is in session, hour 106.
And a woman who held a babe against her bosom said, "Speak to us of children." And he said, "Your children are not your children. They are the sons and daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but not from you. And though they are with you, yet they belong not to you. You may give them your love, but not your thoughts, for they have their own thoughts. You may house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in the house of tomorrow, which you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You may strive to be like them, but seek not to make them like you. For life goes not backward nor tarries with yesterday. You are the bows from which your children as living arrows are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might, that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness. For even as he loves the arrow that flies, so he loves also the bow that is stable.
Children live
Teach them to wait the love in our hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with criticism, he learns to condemn. If a child lives with hostility, he learns to fight. If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
Children learn what they read. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in the heart, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fairness, he learns justice.
Children learn what they need. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in the heart. They will find love in the world.
If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in the heart. We'll find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they teach them to wait, to love in the heart, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they love. Teach them to wait, to love in the heart, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love.
You've been listening there to the inspirational piece, Children Live What They Learn, written by Dorothy Law Nolte in 1955. Dorothy Law, L-A-W, Nolte, N-O-L-T-E. Dorothy Law Nolte wrote Children Live What They Learn back in 1955. And before that, we recited for you the piece by Khalil Gibran. Some people say Gibran, Gibran. That was the opening piece that we shared and eventually paired it with Children Live What They Learn. 2021 to 2030 is the International Decade of Healthy Aging, the International Decade of Ecosystem Restoration, the International Decade of Ocean Science for Sustainable Development, the Decade of Action for Road Safety, and the UN International Decade of Indigenous Languages. It's the 12th day of the 9th month of 2023, the International Year of Millets. A millet is a cereal grown in warm countries and regions with poor soils, bearing a large crop of small seeds, which are chiefly used to make flour. 2023 is also the International Year of Dialogue as a guarantee of peace. Put another way, it's the 12th day of the 9th month of the 2023 North Atlantic hurricane season, and the National Hurricane Center in Miami, Florida, has been busy monitoring systems, and the latest tropical weather outlook tells us that the national, specifically for the Caribbean, the North Atlantic, Caribbean Sea, and the Gulf of Mexico, there's the National Hurricane Center is issuing advisories on Hurricane Lee, located several hundred miles south of Bermuda, and on Hurricane Margot, located, and that Margot is spelled Margot, the T is silent. So Hurricane Margot, located over the central subtropical Atlantic. In terms of the local forecast here in Jamaica, as presented by the National Meteorological Service, there's a high pressure ridge across the Western Caribbean. That usually means fair weather. The ridge is expected to bring drier conditions across the island for the next couple of days. On Thursday, a trough induced by Hurricane Lee is expected to move into the vicinity of Jamaica. The forecast for the rest of this afternoon, partly cloudy across southern parishes with isolated showers and possible thunderstorms across southwestern parishes. Tonight will become fair. And as we said, the current regional weather features are Hurricanes Lee and Margot across the North Atlantic, and there's an induced trough. It caused by Lee, Hurricane Lee. He's the one who caused this trough, this induced trough across the central Caribbean. So that's how it's looking, weather-wise and otherwise. In terms of the stories that are trending at this time, classes suspended at Grange Hill High, Froome Technical, and Grange Hill Primary as taxi operators continue protest. Outside, well, let's stay in Jamaica for the time being. Police Oversight Body undertaking JCF satisfaction survey. Jamaican woman accused of debit relief fraud scheme remanded in the US. And we'll see what else is happening as the program progresses. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:15.
With over 40 years of record service, Lock, Safe and Vault Limited is your trusted security provider. Get affordable prices on a wide variety of seals, garage doors, access control supplies, magnetic lock, fingerprint, weatherproof keypads, card access system, time attendants, power supplies, and exit buttons. Professional services provided. Visit 40 Shortwood Road, Kingston 8. Problem solved with Lock, Safe and Vault.
Volunteers! The day is here again when the International Coastal Cleanup ICC hosts their beach cleanup under the theme #See the Change. Join Power 106 FM for a live outside broadcast during the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online on Saturday, September 16 from the Palisadoes Go-Kart Track Kingston from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. Come and show your support for a good cause. This broadcast is brought to you by the Digicel Foundation, Conrad Douglas and Associates Limited, and Environmental Sciences and Technology Limited, ESTED, Environmental Solutions, and the Jamaica Environment Trust, JET. That's a broadcast of the Jamaican Diaspora Live Online this Saturday, September 16, from the International Coastal Cleanup Day at the Palisadoes Go-Kart Track Kingston from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. on Power 106 FM. They will find love in the world. Children learn what they need. Children need what they love. Children learn what they need.
Hi Jesse, how are you? Fine, thanks. Hi.
They will find love in the world.
If a child lives with
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Good afternoon to Ricardo in Glengolf, St. Catherine. Hello to Hubert Fowlin. He says, good afternoon to both sides of the story, Mr. Dervan, Malcolm, and his listening audience. Thank you, Hubert Fowlin. Faye Weller says, blessed afternoon, Mr. Dervan and faithful listeners. I'm here listening. Author Kwame, award-winning author of international repute, Kwame McPherson says, happy Founders Day, Dervan. Thank you very much. Indeed, today's Founders Day for Calabar. Calabar was founded on the 12th of September, 1912. So there's a bit of a history there. In fact, since you raised the subject, Kwame, let's share the information. 1912 it was. Calabar High School opened its doors on this day in 1912. In 1839, William Knibb, Thomas Burchell, and James Philippou, the three leading English Baptist missionaries working in Jamaica, moved for the creation of a college for training native Baptist ministers. Out of this, Calabar Theological College came into being in 1843 and was first sited in the little village of Calabar near Rio Bueno, Trelawney. The name Calabar was brought to Jamaica by slaves from Nigeria, West Africa, where there's an old river port city by that name. In 1868, Calabar College was removed to East Queen Street, Kingston, where a normal school for training teachers and a high school for boys were added. Shortly after, the high school, let's go back a bit. The device, you know how these devices are these days? They have a mind of their own. Now, where were we? Right, so we were saying that in 1868, Calabar College was removed to East Queen Street, Kingston, where a normal school for training teachers and a high school for boys were added. Shortly after, the high school went out of operation and the teacher training activities ceased, leaving the practicing school, now known as Calabar All-Age School on Sutton Street, and the Theological College, which was relocated at Chatola Park on Sly Pen Road in 1904. At the beginning of this century, there were very few high schools in existence to educate the sons of the working class and the rising middle class. It was to meet this need that in 1912, through the instrumentality of the Reverends Ernest Price and David Davis, principal and tutor respectively of Calabar Theological College, Calabar High School was founded. And at the time, the Reverends Ernest Price and David Davis were principal and tutor, respectively, of Calabar Theological College. Calabar High School came into existence under the sponsorship of the Baptist Missionary Society of London and the Jamaica Baptist Union. It opened on the 12th of September, 1912, with 26 boys, and the foundation was firmly laid in the Christian tradition. Reverend Price was the first headmaster. Within a year, enrollment had reached 80, and the school had received government recognition. An early benefactor was Miss Elizabeth Purcell, who in 1919 left the adjoining property Studley Park in trust for the school. In 1952, Calabar Theological College and High School moved from their location at Studley Park to Red Hills Road, where 60 acres of land, then called Industry Pen, had been purchased for the resiting of both institutions. At the time, this was a thinly populated, undeveloped area, and many people thought the move unwise. The new school was built to house 350 boys, but before long, extensions became necessary. Boarding facilities were provided up to 1970. When boarding ceased, dormitories were subsequently converted to workshops. In 1967, the Theological College moved to Mona as a part of the United Theological College of the West Indies, and the high school took over the space vacated. This is the section of the premises which the boys now call Long Island. At about this time, a portion of the Calabar lands, now occupied by Boulevard Supercenter and the Pleasanton housing scheme, was sold. As a result of the massive increase in population in this section of the city, the school had grown by leaps and bounds. A privately run extension school was added in 1971. In 1978, the school adopted a shift system incorporating the day and extension schools at the request of the Ministry of Education. There are presently, well, they give the figure here at 1,600. I'm trying to remember the figure I'm accustomed to. But for the time being, those who prepared this brief are telling us that there are now 1,600 students on roll at Calabar High School, with 8 forms in each year group from grades 7 to 11, and 4 forms in grades 12 and 13, sixth form. Calabar High School was famous almost from the start. It established a reputation for scholarship, which has been maintained over the years, as seen from the large number of major scholarships such as Jamaica and Rhodes scholarships, which have been won by Calabar. The school pioneered the teaching of science, Spanish, and agriculture. Sports, particularly athletics, has always been important, and the championship trophy has, up to the time of putting together this data on CBAR, the school had won 12 times, the first time being in 1930. Calabar was the first school to have a swimming pool and won the swimming competition repeatedly for many years. In fact, the swimming pool at Calabar at Red Hills Road, 61 Red Hills Road, was dug by the students. The students essentially created that swimming pool. The boys helped to dig the present pool, as we said, in 1953. And here's another story you might not be familiar with. You may or may not have heard of the great Aston Wesley Powell. That name should ring a bell. Aston Wesley Powell. When Aston Wesley Powell was 15 years old, his father sought to enroll him in Calabar High School. But Aston Wesley Powell was rejected because he was too old. It was then that he pledged to found a school that would cater to students who were too old and too poor. And so 6 years later, when he was 21 years old, Aston Wesley Powell founded Excelsior. At the time, he had only Cambridge school certificate qualifications. Between 1943 and 1946, he enrolled at Columbia University, where he read for a Bachelor of Science in Geology and a Master of Arts. Sorry for that break in transmission. That's the computer trying to save energy so that it can last longer. So, right. So at the time, he had only Cambridge school certificate qualifications. Between 1943 and 46, he enrolled at Columbia University, where he read for a Bachelor of Science in Geology and a Master of Arts in Secondary Administration. On the completion of his studies, he returned to his post as principal of Excelsior School. Between 1947 and 1948, the first 7 buildings erected on the present site at 137 Mountain View Avenue with a loan from the Bank of Nova Scotia. The school relocated from North Street to the school at Antrim in September 1948. Wesley Powell subsequently sought to secure the long-term interest of the school by selling the institution to the Methodist Church in 1951. Interestingly enough, the negotiations for the purchase of Excelsior were led by a Reverend Hugh Sherlock, a graduate of Calabar High School, the school that rejected Aston Wesley Powell, telling him that he was too old when his father tried to get him into Calabar. One can only imagine the nature of those negotiations between Reverend Dr. Aston Wesley Powell and Reverend Hugh Sherlock. Today, Excelsior has a population of more than 2,000 students with a staff complement of about 100. In 2007, the sixth form was reestablished to meet the demands of students from Excelsior High School and others. So just because that piece of history overlapped, we decided to bring it in at this point. The history of Excelsior and the connection with Calabar High School. So it is. Sometimes, this is why sometimes when things don't work out for whatever reason, we should try not to be too upset where we want to kick ourselves, so to speak. Because what is supposed to happen will happen, quite frankly. And sometimes we try to fight fate, F-A-T-E, and also faith, F-A-I-T-H, as opposed to being discerning to recognize that, hey, something is going wrong here, or I'm going to turn this corner because I get a sense that this is it. One moment, please.
Learns to feel guilty.
Knowledge is power. Class is in session, Power 106.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:30. Favorite nighttime talk show, Dear Pastor, is now at a new time, 9 to 11 p.m. Monday to Thursday. Join Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas as he answers your questions and entertains conversations on a range of issues. Spice up your evening with Dear Pastor here on Power 106 FM, Monday to Thursday from 9 to 11 p.m. It's nighttime talk radio at its best at an earlier time. That's Dear Pastor with Reverend Dr. Aaron Dumas, now at a new time, 9 to 11 p.m., right here on Power 106 FM.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. I'm Dervan Malcolm, taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. The text line is the same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346, 876-365-3346. What's on your mind this afternoon? All right, let's see who's messaging us. Still getting lots of messages posted in on the WhatsApp group, Rachel's Family and Friends, as family and friends continue to keep her memory alive. One of our regular listeners from the days of Tony Leng, Rachel Graham, who left us recently. She was quite gifted as a crafts person in creating her memory alive. And so they created a WhatsApp group, which we're also a part of. May her soul continue to rest in peace. Here is, who is this now? Bunty has sent us a voice note, which we haven't been able to audition yet. Let's see if we'll be able to do so and then make a determination with respect to that voice note. Cuban in Georgia says, good afternoon, Sir Malcolm. Why is the money from the proceeds of crime going towards paying off private sector debt? We can't find better efforts to put in the economy to create new jobs for the young, to give them a chance to work and better themselves and their families? That's the question from Cuban in Georgia. Then he sends us another message. He says, Sir Malcolm, is the DPP back at work, or is she still on a 3-week break that she promised the country to come back with a decisive decision on her fate? Not sure what that is all about. East London is sharing police officer jailed for 1 year for stomping on handcuffed man. Kate Middleton makes visit to jail despite painful injury. Meghan Markle made a quick pit stop in the UK en route to the Invictus Games in Dusseldorf, where she has reunited with Prince Harry, but didn't stay on British soil for very long. Meghan Markle has returned to the UK for the first time since the death of the late Queen, but left just 90 minutes later. Protest held on Rye Lane after viral video shows man with hands around the woman's neck inside shop. A protest was held outside a Peckham store on Tuesday afternoon after social media footage showing an altercation between staff and a black customer went viral. Footage of here, I watching. So he says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. I'm watching the evening news on TVJ when I hear the PM mention NNN car park shut up. And he said that we will leave no stone unturned. I'm sorry for the man who shut up the car park, because when the PM sent out the top investigating officer, they must find out is who. worst if the investigating officer who is investigating a murder at that house, the car park shooter must get catch, because that investigating officer don't play. Or if them send out the people who involved in the investigating of the man who's suspect in the doctor's murder. And the numbers to call 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Text line same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. Ash says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Just tuning in from London, England. Good afternoon to you, Ash. It's always good to hear from you. Thank you very much for tuning in, and all the best. Let's go back to let's take a call coming through on our text line, same as the WhatsApp number. Hello, good afternoon, Mr. Crossburn. How are you?
Good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm, to you and all your listeners. Thanks very kindly for the opportunity.
You're welcome. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I just saying thanks to Mr. McKnight from Canada for his vast archives, and I'm deeply appreciative of the
That's Franklin MacDonald, not McKnight. MacDonald, Franklin MacDonald.
Yeah, yes, indeed, yeah, Franklin
MacDonald.
Is MacDonald.
Yes.
And the information, the reparation, I'm thankful to him for it. And I'll just back on it a little more. But just let me get this out the way first. Mr. Coombs, I heard him, and he's inquiring about the book.
Yes, he wants a copy. He wants a copy of your book, but you don't have any more right now, do you?
Not one. Not even for myself. No, I just have to be recalling from my memory.
How many books did you print in the first instance?
1,000.
And they're all gone. My goodness. Whoa.
No, it's from 2016 now.
Yeah, but even then, that's a good thing.
No, it's a good work. Not because I'm not self-praising myself. It's an excellent work. The first time I went to my daughter's graduation in Kentucky, she was graduating from the University of Western Kentucky.
Yes.
And I gave her a principal one of the book. And immediately the next day, he gave me a book named Why Nations Fail, and say I'm to frame this book, frame my book in around that book, Why Nations Fail.
So you got a copy. You got a copy of that book. Why Nations Fail? I need to check if I need to get one. Yeah. Why Nations Fail.
No problem. Mm-hmm. I definitely can give you mine, sir.
No, man, I don't want to take away your book. It is so easy these days to just order on Amazon, and in no time you get the book. So Amazon it works. Yes.
I told you I'll give you the handbook, and I have it here. But I'm a little hamstrung at the moment. But as soon as I get the arrangement to come in Kingston, I'll leave the handbook of Jamaica for you. And please, I'm begging you, please to copy the 1926 and 1927 H.E. Upton notes about Clarendon, published in the Gleaner in June to September 1926 and 1927. It's an awesome amount of information on chlorine and particular. H.E. Upton did that scholarly work. So I'd love for you to get it and to keep it along your information.
Yes, indeed. I look forward to getting my copy.
Yeah, please. All right. But this second edition, I've just spoken to someone, a good friend of mine at the Institute of Jamaica. Not the Institute, the library. And we just fine-tuning some little loose ends to have the second edition out as quickly as I can. Because what I've done a lot of research since the Gladstone issue. And the former Prime Minister of England, why I really want to mention this is sometimes we hear some thoughts and some quotes and so on, and we don't really know the background to the quote. A popular one is justice denied. Justice delayed is justice denied. It came from John Gladstone, John Gladstone, who owned the Demerara estates in Guyana and whose ancestors were in Guyana their day. And it was Gladstone who coined the phrase, justice delayed is justice denied, simply because he was in favor of providing reparation, particularly after the Guyana 1823 rebellion. However, his fellow owners were reluctant. That's why he called.
Hold on. Tell us why after the break, please. One more.
If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
2:45.
Chad Ad Distributors are the island-wide distributors of the popular Maxxis tires, plus Sumitomo, Falcon, and Solidil. For batteries, Mayatsu, AC Delco, and for lubricants, it's Petro Canada. Visit us at 87 to 91 First Street, Newport West. Telephone 901-6612 or 383-4363. Chad Ad Distributors Limited, your place to retire.
Learns to fight. If a child lives with...
Yes, Mr. Crosburn, back with you. Go ahead now.
Yeah, and the justice delayed, justice denied. Also, how coincidental it is too, because as I mentioned to you, John Gladstone owned Sokovia in St. Elizabeth and Holland Estate in St. Elizabeth. But after the ownership left from John Gladstone to Lady Holland, she too, she's a Jamaican. Lady Holland is a Jamaican. Her name was Vassal, and she married Lord Holland, hence the name Holland Estate. So she, as a Jamaican, was born in St. Elizabeth, named Vassal, and married at an early age, maybe about age 17. But she owned other estates in Jamaica, apart from the Holland estate. Because in actual fact, there are three Holland estates in Jamaica, one in Trelawney, one in St. Thomas, and that one in Lackover, beside Lackover in St. Elizabeth. So this 17-year-old, she too was interested in making early reparation. So it's so coincidental that she wanted was, if you read in the Jamaica survey, you will see where she was interested in making reparation as well. I say all this to say that a lot of people is pouring scorn upon the reparation and saying we are seeking to prepare a means list. It's not a means list. It is something that the United Nations has thoroughly investigated and determined that this amount is what is to be paid. I am saying that I'm so thankful for Mr. McKnight that he referred me to the committee. What we need to do as a country is to rebrand the Jamaica.
And naturally, thanks for bringing it to our attention, Rudolph in Stony Hill. Let's see who else. Neville Salah says, good afternoon, Dervan. Dervan, you have any information about the guy that murdered Dr. Linville Bloomfield? How was he able to disappear from the police just like that? Why are they, I'm just trying to rephrase because this doesn't make sense as it is right now. Why? I think maybe you want to ask, why are they not able to hunt down the murderer? Too much corruption, says Salah from Kingston. Thank you very much, Salah from Kingston. Let's go to the phone lines, 876-922-4112-5, 876-922-4112-5. Good afternoon, thanks for calling.
Here that the plane can't come in from 80 and the ship can't come in from 80, nor the boat can't come in from 80.
That is in the news. That's information in the news.
Yes, and they're going to suspend the visa, right?
Who made that announcement? Who made that announcement?
Well, it's in the news. The Dominican Republic government is making that announcement.
Okay, I'm just checking.
No, I mean, we talk, this thing with you and I and your program, we talk facts. We don't know our research, right?
Yeah, we still have to ask questions.
Yes. And so, if Dominican Republic is a part of the Commonwealth, and they are going to do that to the Asians, then I think the Jamaican government must say to the Dominican representative that you need to leave Jamaica. You need to go. You need to leave Jamaica. You need to go. Because Haiti is our brothers and sisters. And if we in Jamaica, we are going to sort of labor to work.
Hold on, please. One moment.
Contractors, developers, and small builders. Contact Coast to Coast Group of Companies for high-quality concrete products. The time by Coast to Coast Group of Companies is
3 o'clock.
Shareholders in Radio Jamaica Limited, please be advised that our next annual general meeting will be held on Thursday, September 21, 2023, at the Terra Nova All Suite Hotel, 17 Waterloo Road, Kingston, commencing at 10 a.m. Notices of the meeting, along with a cover letter and the form of proxy, have been mailed to shareholders in Jamaica as required by all rules. You can download the full annual report document from our website, rjrviewingagroup.com/publications, or the website of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. You can contact our office via WhatsApp number 876-860-7921 and share an email address if you'd like the annual report sent to you by email. Alternatively, you can collect a copy of the report at one of our offices at 32 Linders Road or 7 North Street in Kingston, 23 Orange Street in Montego Bay, Shop 16 Point Plaza in Oteria, St. Anne, or Shop 9 Midway Mall in Mandeville, Manchester. That was a notice to shareholders of Radio Jamaica Limited regarding the upcoming annual general meeting scheduled for Thursday, September 21, 2023.
A child lives with praise. He learns to appreciate. If a child lives with firmness, he learns justice.
Thanks for holding. You were saying?
We have 14 Caribbean countries, and the war is going on with our brothers and sisters. It is close to us. I don't know how much miles they're apart from Jamaica. You can tell me that because I don't get into that part of the history. But I think the time has come for Jamaica to look at how many people migrate from Jamaica within the last 1 year or so, whether it's 3,000 or 4,000. And then we could take 2,000 or 3,000 Asians from the war and say, listen to me, we are going to put you into production. We are going to help you turn around your life. So I would like the 14 Caribbean countries to take whether 4,000 each country or 5,000. But don't tell me that you're going to send back my little brothers and sisters. They are running away from war. It could be us. Because Jamaica went to war before it becomes Jamaica. Because the Spanish and the English was there. What if we were living in that time? What if it was called Jamaica in that time? We would want the same thing to be done to us. Good things. Am I right? Am I wrong?
Well, you know the golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you.
Because you are short of production, of people to produce. And we could turn these people into production. So I am saying to the Jamaican government, rethink what you're doing. Give way for the 3,000 people, Asian. Let them come to Jamaica. Let them turn around their life. Let Trinidad and Tobago do the same thing. Antigua do the same thing. Because we are going to need that when the time comes for us. Now, let me go to Dayton Campbell. But before I go to Dayton Campbell, your colleague Simon Kraskill, he is the most controversial talk show host I come across. But the thing with Simon, you either like him or you hate him because he speaks the truth. But he's very controversial. And it doesn't matter which party in power, he just tell you what is on his mind. So in that breath, I come to Dayton Campbell. Dayton Campbell must not get involved in that. Leave it to us as the Jamaican people. Let us decide. But what Dayton Campbell said, nobody can sue him. He was speaking the truth. No, I don't have to offer the criminal defense lawyer to tell me that you can't sue Dayton Campbell because he was speaking.
You can sue anybody you choose to sue. You can sue anybody.
But you can't sue for foolishness.
No, you can sue anybody.
Well, you say that's a broad statement. You can't sue anybody, but some people sue for foolishness.
You can sue anybody.
And so when the Prime Minister is now talking about the press is under attack and free speech is under attack and all those things, then if the press is under attack, how come the press can't get information to know the 6th parliamentarian that is under investigation? When are we going to know? Are we entitled to know, sir?
Put through a call to the Integrity Commission. They should know.
Is the gag order is still on or the gag order is listed?
No, maybe they can diplomatically tell you that their investigations are continuing. Maybe that's the extent to which they'll be able to communicate with you.
So, I am saying to journalists, do not peddle the government information behind the microphone. Which I said to that radio station down the road, and I said to the person who owns it, I said to the person, I called him myself, I said, do not peddle the government information down the road. If you want to be a cheerleader or peddle the government information down the road, then you must leave the microphone and come out and say so and support that. Right? You don't do that. You're Dervan Malcolm. You don't do that. You just speak what's on your mind. So I am saying to journalists, be independent. We can't go down that road to supporting political parties. That's not what you're there for. You're there to do your job. When we called, is either you agree or you disagree.
No, in a democracy, people are free to support whichever political party they feel like supporting. What we would hope is that those of us who are supposed to be professionals in carrying out our duties will do so with a level of regard and integrity and so on. That is the hope. But other than that, people are free to support whichever political party they choose to support.
But Dervan, you can't do that behind the microphone. You cannot do that behind the microphone.
No, I didn't say anything about doing anything behind microphone. I'm making a simple point that we live in a democracy, and people are free in a democracy to support any party they choose to support. Having said that, once they occupy certain positions, a level of decorum is expected of them, and a general air of professionalism. Very important.
Because, while, is to coming back to Jamaica, to develop Jamaica, to contribute to Jamaica, and to make Jamaica be a better place. So when I tell friends or whatever to come to Jamaica, I want Jamaica to be a better place. That is why I do whatever that I can to promote Jamaica. But the way in which we are governing Jamaica, people are asking me, why are we behaving so hostile? Why? Hello?
Maybe you need to come back to Jamaica and fill that void.
So before I wrap up, did you know that every time you send a teacher here, every time a teacher migrates from Jamaica, you know who makes the money? There's a third-party candidate. Talking to one of my Jamaicans.
Sorry, there's some instability on the line, the connection.
Can you let me see? Can you hear me?
Hearing you now. Yes.
There's a third party that collects about $4,000 from each teacher. So when these teachers get here, they have to pay that third party about $5,000 or $4,000. It comes out of their salary.
Yeah, well, nobody held a gun to their head. They went into the arrangement knowing what is expected and what they're supposed to do.
But we can't train them. Taxpayer money can't train our teachers by building the institution. Sam Sharp and with our teachers college.
Well, it depends on what the policy of the Ministry of Education is within a given time. Is it a policy that says we are going to train teachers not just for Jamaica, but for other countries? Is it one that says, if we train you and pay for your training here in Jamaica, then you will have to give us at least 5 years of service or something like that? So it's a function of what the policy is at any given time.
We could look at that. But we must have.
Sorry, the line is misbehaving again. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, the line was misbehaving again a short while ago.
Yes. We must look at ways. I agree with you with 5 years. And secondly, we must say to the third party that is recruiting these Jamaican teachers, this is free market, but we need some money from you. We need to collect some money from you. We're not stopping the Jamaican teachers from going to Green Pastor. So you cannot train in my institution that my taxpayer is paying to train you, and I am not getting anything to the table.
It still depends on the arrangement. What was the original arrangement? What was the contract that was signed? On what basis did we have this engagement, etc.?
So the whole thing now needs to change, because where I live here in Florida, they're talking about they want more Jamaican teachers, they want more Caribbean teachers. And so what is going to happen? Is the school in Jamaica going to close?
No, life will go on. As long as there's life on earth, it will go on, even without us.
That's what you think, Dervan?
No, that's what I know.
The life will go on?
Life goes on. It's a story of life. How long now, when you read the history now, what do you see looking back and reading the stories and the happenings that unfolded? It's still unfolding. Life is still unfolding. It's unfolding.
So as you talk about the 1700 with the war between the Spanish and the French and the Dominican Republic and the 80s, they divided.
Yes, the world has always had wars and rumors of wars. We've always had those.
And that is why I'm saying to the Jamaican government, the Dominican Republic government do not like the black people. This is racism.
That is your opinion.
We must kick out the Dominican Republic representative in Jamaica if they're going to treat.
That's not how people practice diplomacy. But that's not diplomacy.
But look here. The same way when we made a foolish mistake when we send away Estrada. What I am saying is, you're going to treat the Asians like that. The Dominican Republic representative of Jamaica must be kicked out of Jamaica. You can't treat your neighbor like that. You can't do that. And that's all I'm saying, that the government of Jamaica must look at it and say to the Dominican Republic people, Prime Minister, you can't treat them like that. It is war going on. They need help. And you are going to close the ear and the sea and take away the visa from these people?
That wouldn't be strange. It happens all over the world. We can always debate the rightness or the wrongness of the decisions or the choices, but they're not foreign to us. They're not unique.
Dervan, I wish you all the best for the rest of the day. Thank you.
Same to you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. There's more after the break.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
3:15.
Come to Tip Friendly Society, the friendly society of choice for all employees in the education sector. We provide savings, loans, and insurance for you and your family. Principals, starting September 1, cover your students with attractive personal accident benefits for a competitive premium of $325 per academic year. Tip principals, do it now, and your students will thank you. Please visit our website at www.tipfriendly.com for more details.
If a child lives with ridicule, he learns to be shy. If a child lives with shame, he learns to feel guilty.
Children learn what they read. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence.
Thanks a lot for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story. Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Cleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Miss Mervis.
Oh, I didn't know I was on,
Well, now you know.
Yes.
And no one is off the battle. G.I. Joe.
I love that. Good afternoon to the staff and you and everybody listening.
Yes.
I love that poem you read,
That's Khalil Gibran's piece. Your children are not your children.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. I think we really need to be conscious of that fact.
Yes.
Because there's a word in the scripture that said the children are an heritage of the Lord,
That's right.
And the fruit of the womb is his reward.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a great poem, man. Mm-hmm. I don't know. This whole matter of this Asian thing, you see?
Yes.
When the first set came, I said, I don't remember which station, I said, you better be alive if you take that set, another set is coming. Yeah? Well, I think the best thing to do is to people get up there and try to help them sort out them country, right?
Mm-hmm.
We don't have way tech to deal with them. We have a whole heap of gangsters in our school or kind of something. We have some people live under some condition, and we see sometimes come up on some of our news thing, in the evenings. When some of there are people them going to some places and when you see the condition under which some people in Jamaica live, we have more problems now where we can manage. But I think the important thing is that them unite them efforts in the Caribbean and we help them fix it. We're not on our way down here. We people leave this country in droves. And what is bothering me, as I said to somebody, I don't know if it's Dr. Gale, know what it takes to produce an academia from early childhood straight up to university. I don't want a farm where you put some fertilizer and some product and in a 3 months them ready and you sell them, It takes a mighty lot to produce academias. And when you keep losing them, when your country badly need them to build it, it's a serious matter. So we can't manage Asian refugees. We need to find a way to keep our people from leaving this country. I'm deeply concerned. I'm running a questioning the Almighty Waters. What can I do? What can be done to assist the education system? You know what I mean?
Yes.
Because it needs help. How can we use what we have when so many are leaving? How can we use what we have to get where we want to get to? Yeah? So, I recall having a dinner, independent dinner at church some years ago when I was a teen. And the pots that came to do the cooking were not enough. I was the youngest person around. And the people were sitting down there and saying, what are they going to do? Them do have enough pots. I was sitting there thinking, I can use the few pots that were there. And I did get them using the few pots that were there to do everything. And then they looked at me and said, I have a old head for a young body.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's what the older ladies that were there said. I have an old head and a young body. So there are times when you spend so much time worrying about what you don't have.
Mm-hmm.
When you need to worry about how you use what you have.
That's right.
And that is where I am right now. As an educator who know the system very well, not reading about it, know the system, and realize the seriousness of education is not like a building. You're making a building and then you can call up some extra workmen. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Like and get the work, get certain things done in a couple of hours or a couple of days. That education is not like that. It's a long process. Huh? Very long process.
It's a continuous process.
Yes. And a very long one. And a very technical one. Because it's sitting in front of 30 students or 40 students with different needs, and you know what I mean? To get them to learn, especially at the lower level, the foundation level. It's no easy joke, because the primary level is where I work all my life. And I know, you see, I got training in the early childhood section as well. And I even do Jamal too. So I know I have a sort, and then this reading program that I did out here, I got a lot of information about people and them learning style, whatever, because I was teaching all kind of age group. While I was at primary school, I was concentrating on age 6 to 12, you know what I mean? But teaching this reading program where you have 40 or 30 or 20 or teenage under 12, you know, taught me quite a lot about people learnability.
Yes.
So I am here saying to the Almighty, where do you want me to fit into this thing? Because a long time I try to get in and can't reach it, can't get it done. Can't people who accept it. But something seriously needs to be done. We need to be able to start to think how we use what we have. No, sir?
That's right.
And then all this deeper indiscipline and gangster business, Dervan. Here's all we need for chipping, you know. Sick, lame, and lazy. Because this affects everybody now, you know. You go to the bank, the place, you go draw money, and you have to look what to see what can hold up the people who are reload, the camp, the whatever them, Like you're not safe anywhere. So we can sit down here and ball government alone and ball police. But we need to start to pray the whole of our hearts that with some wisdom and understanding and knowledge as to how we tackle them monster here. Because we can't sit down here and allow it to run away like when the fire gets wet. That's a serious thing.
Yeah.
So, with those over foreign, the question would I like to ask, can the diaspora do anything to help us stop the guns from coming here?
Well, they will tell you that there are things that have been done. There are certain discussions that have been had, negotiations, engagements, etc. But it's not the kind of thing that you want to parade all over the place when you're dealing with national security.
Yeah, I know that, because sometimes I hear some journalists asking the police some questions where they shouldn't be asking them.
Yeah, because they've been trained to demonstrate that they are tough. They can ask tough questions, but they don't recognize.
They shouldn't be answering them, because I wouldn't be answering them. They should be asking them.
Certain questions you may or may not get an answer.
Because everybody listening, gunman, drug man, every man are listening. Yeah? I am conscious of that they're listening. Yeah. So we need to be very careful. The doors up top. In the when we listen to all the United States, all Fox News and Florida News, and at the night time we could pick up and see for the TV up peruse all of them, you know, Dervan. MSN, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And I say, I don't want to go to them country and what you call it, BBC, West, all of them. I pay my this go on, you know, Dervan. It's not Jamaica alone. Jamaica is a victim of a lot of it. The guns were not made here. No? We don't make them accept the one of the years of them are some kind of make now, I don't know, but the information didn't come from here neither. I pick them up online and all kind of something.
Who's making coins? Who's making coins outside of the regular coin manufacturing that takes place?
Yeah, the gun thing there where you can't trace them. I remember what them call them. Some kind of guns and things, but you don't understand why mankind can be so stupid. You're just killing off each other and getting on with all of them something there. All of us have one life. We're not like a tree. When you cut it down, it spring again, you know. And them go like them can't dead like them need let them under one shot we take them out too.
All it takes, one bullet.
And then them pack up them wealth and them something where them dead gone left. Like them could have packed up and then grave some more.
Like the few who have, well, who thought they could get away committed crimes in Jamaica, quite a few of them, who committed crimes in Jamaica and took the next plane right after.
Yes, I know that long time.
Only for the police on both shores, both our shores and the foreign shores, just set the stage for bringing them right back home in Jamaica.
It's like then I believe the technology can work on the other side.
Yes.
You see, but I am so concerned about our boys, you see? Emil?
Yes.
From long time, from long years down the road, at school and everywhere, I always put some special emphasis on my boys. Because in the class, you always find they are the ones lagging behind. And interestingly, I taught a slow class when I just left college, and the last class I taught when I left the schoolroom in 94 was another slow one. And they were all filled with boys, you know. That one was in 69, 70. And the last one was in 93, 94. And it's the same thing I observe. That the boys not always in them slow classes. Them are the ones in a function long time. We keep on telling them long time there's something wrong in the system. Nobody will listen to me. But me need to get something done, you know. When I know maybe further on, me have to call you off here and talk to you. Something has to be done for our male or our boys. They can't just have them and make gangs out of them. Eh? Them sell them the gun, you know, Dervan.
Mm-hmm.
They scam and they sell them the gun, you know, so the rest them go back and kill them and take back them gun there. And over there, you give me them news, you know.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Kill them and take back the same gun with them sell them. Yeah? And as I said to Dr. Gill or somebody the other day, they didn't start scamming, they didn't start gun running, Dervan.
No?
We are losing too much of our children. And you did an advertisement about packs of rats, you see? What the police have out there. You know, me not like it. Yeah? Rats. Yeah? They're our children, aren't they?
What's the essence of that? What?
No, they're advertising them. They say they're like packs. The gangs are like packs of rats.
Oh.
And they're going to get them, but every time I hear it, it makes me sick.
Oh.
They're our children.
Oh, I saw.
And they weren't born like that. Somebody turned them into that.
Mm-hmm.
And we need some wisdom from God here without joke to retrieve them. To get them back, not by the gun. The police bullet. And the question me ask, what is better, 2 slaps and settle you down to learn how the police gunshot? Dervan, take it from me, you know. We'd have to slap up some of them, you know. Eh? And they hug me up now, you know, Dervan. Get no fuck up. Some of them we'd have to slap them. Settle them down and get them to understand, so them to get work going. Because talking to help them, you know. different method affect different persons. So those who feel we must take in the nation, I say capital N-O, no.
Capital N-O, no. Wow.
Right.
Hold the line, please, Miss Mervis.
Clearing personal, non-commercial shipments at the port? Avoid the wait. Request a contactless clearance through your agent today. It's more efficient. It's secure. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is 3:14.
Join Dr. Herbert Gale Mondays and Tuesdays.
If you don't sit down and make an overall investment in your human resource and you keep just allowing your very best to go, you are going to end up weaker.
And tune in to Simon Crosskill from Wednesday to Friday.
The majority of people in Jamaica are good, decent, honest, hardworking people. What we are doing is we are allowing a minority to control the narrative.
Featuring The Bottom Line with Ralston Hyman, the best public affairs banter on Jamaican radio.
Everything is connected. If you have more of your people employed and you're operating at full capacity, you're supposed to be getting more output, not less.
It's Power Talk, weekdays 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Identifying challenges and finding solutions in a globalized world. Make it a date. Join us.
He learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with firmness.
Yes, Miss Mervis, you say N-O, no, capital N-O, no. Why?
The Caribbean and whoever need to get up to 80, and try and help those people sort out them situation up there.
So including Jamaica?
Yes, that's the Caribbean.
Okay.
And the international big mouth them will love chat and criticize. Yeah. And go on like say them big old G20 and G7 them now have trouble in them too. Them need to unite them effort and go up there and assist the people. This matter of them coming down here is we can't deal with that down here right now. We have too much on our plate. No, and I know when one said come and take them in, you're going to get them coming. I am no fool to that. See? We need to I say it and that's it. Yes, you see this advertisement you just play a while ago?
I'm sorry, I didn't play it, but it was played, yes.
You know what I mean? It's a very nice advertisement. I love it. I love the way these three Ralston and Dr. Gill and Simon put over this piece.
Yes.
I love what Simon said, the nation full of good people. Right? Dr. Gill said if we continue to lose the best brain and the best whatever. And Ralston say if we have so many people employed, then how come certain things stay so? Solid words them there. But we need to look into, Yes. We have a serious problem in some serious problem in our nation. We all need to get on deck. The banks, everybody. The bank them need to come on, you know, say the bank them sit down over the years and put up them interest rate and something and match up this country. And lend pure money for import pure car when people couldn't get no loan for doing no business. Them bank there. And when people have their little money in there, instead of take it, lend the people who want money for borrow, what them do? Take time, dry it out till not no less. So them is that set. When me not afraid to talk to. In fact, me I want note for there with something about them long time. That's why from 2006 I won the credit union at a AJ meeting in a St. Mary, a lot of the big wigs were here. When they're merging it with Center and I want them, I tell them God say, do not merge the credit union and them. They will be needed to rebuild the nation. Because you see the type of things whatever the banks do. The credit union, I told them they should not be behaving like the banks. And in truth and in fact, a lot of the credit union members don't even know that they own the credit union and they must go to the AGM meeting and make the choices. Yeah, the people who in the offices are paid servants. So when me and them talking about our members, nonsense. Fellow shareholders, the people name. And they must go there because the credit union vision is that you low interest loan here, Dervan. Propel people, you're not supposed to charge people 14% loan. What they, I remember if I read that time the other morning for the program say 14% interest. Me say what? The credit union. Because them telling people about interest. Any interest you get in a credit union, you pay it, you know, Dervan. And the members pay it, you know. So that is why you can't demand big dividend in there. You must invest your money maybe in another section. But that the section of the credit union is supposed to give low interest loan to build you up. You understand?
Right.
And the people don't know it because I come through the credit union. Minus the credit union movement, I couldn't manage with a little quarter of government pay me. When I bought this half acre lot in about 83 there, I couldn't find $2,000 to pay down, you know. You know, so the credit union I forgot to.
That's why we have credit unions.
Right, and I don't think they wanted to draft me and they sent me 1 year to do certain promotion or whatever, but I can't get involved in anything. Help myself in anything.
No.
I have to stay on the outside.
So we're missing your talent then, Miss Mervis, in this instance.
No. I am here to deliver what God said.
Okay.
I can't do that. If I get strategies, I'm supposed to pass it to the relevant areas. I can't get involved in anyone. It's going to keep me confined. That is not what he wants. I mean, for the end of the education system a long time I never come out, but him draw me out there for that reason. You see, so the credit union need to go behave as credit union. And if the shareholders need to be taught why they take a loan and not draw out the money. Because if that wasn't the case, I don't know how I would manage. Because when I get here to live and the water was pumping in inside of my yard from the roadside, I had to go back to the credit union and get some money to make a wall. You know what I mean? I couldn't take bank loan. Bank loan I got to me compound interest and when me think me pay back my loan and interest me pay. The credit union movement supposed to be set up in such a way that you pay and you're reducing balance. So if you borrow the money today and tomorrow you get the money, you can go in and go pay it off, you know. And so credit union supposed to stay, you know. Credit union not supposed to behave like no bank. And I call the people about our members. Members what? People are shareholders who own the credit union. Go to the AGM meeting, learn. Read your rule book, find your rule book. There's a rule book that tell you how it operates. You see? And all them people who hustle the road need to be taught how you use the credit union. So when you take out the money, Dervan, it's gone. You see, when you borrow the money and take time pay it back, you still have the money. They don't learn that, they don't understand it that way. You see? Especially the parish one, you know, not, you have the other one that are credit union connected to professional groups. Eh? But you see, the parish credit union is supposed to go down, market people, all them, you know what I mean?
Yes.
And teach them, save your money, you know, when the year done, you can buy your children school book and things, they don't draw out the money. You borrow the money, you know what I mean?
Right.
Teach them how to use this loan thing, but no big interest not supposed to depend on it. That is one section, maybe them have other area in the credit union movement where certain things can be done. But the real credit union thing is to build up people. That's the vision. There's a vision for it. And that is what I need to know. We need to go educate. People need a lot of education, Dervan, in a various areas to know what is going on in here. And some of us need some conscience in high places.
Well, we're happy to give you a little time, if even a little time, to share with us.
The conscience, man. The conscience need to wake up.
Yes.
And understand that little things make big things, eh?
Little things mean a lot, according
little
to Kitty
things make big things. We can't destroy the little things that expect the big things to survive.
Right.
It's not right. So thanks for the time, eh?
Thank you for the call.
Yes, my
Take
darling.
care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Here's a message from Xavier. Xavier says, good afternoon. Mr. Morgan says the Haitians didn't want to stay in Jamaica. They were trying to reach the U.S. When we were sympathizing for them to stay, they were crying to go back home to Haiti. What does the government do with the Haitian boat? Do they give it to friends or auction it? That's a message from Xavier. Pertinent questions there. Thank you very much for your questions. Maybe you could make a suggestion or two, or seems you're a little close to the action. See what else can come out of that. It's not a bad idea to create a mini museum of these vessels. I'm sure it's a marvel how these vessels have been constructed to be able to ferret people from Haiti to Jamaica, etc. And Bunty says, please ask Ms. Mervis to read Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1 to verse 40, and explain the next time she calls. One love, Jah guide. So this one is for you, Ms. Mervis, from Bunty. He says, please ask Ms. Mervis to read Jeremiah chapter 23, verse 1 through 40, and explain the next time she calls. One love, Jah guide, says Bunty. We'll try to remember that when next she calls, Bunty. Horace, otherwise known as Spider, says, Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon. What if you have a family in Westmoreland in turmoil and government says we have to help them? So we are going to send the security forces down there to help. And so how some of them managed to leave Westmoreland and end up in Kingston. Would you send them back with women and children to Westmoreland to fight? Questions from Horace, otherwise known as Spider. He says, same way the Haitians come in, most likely the same way the guns get here. That's the word from Horace, otherwise known as Spider. This one says, hi, Mr. Malcolm. I feel for the Haitians, but we have no choice but to send them back. We don't know the background of those coming. Mind you, the authorities here in Jamaica tell us that they do check out their backgrounds. That's part of the process, part of the protocol. You check them for health reasons, and you check them with respect to their background. So, but anyway, the rest of the message. We don't know the background of those coming, and we have our own serious crime problems here. Can you imagine if any of those gangsters were to come here? God help us. No, we have to send them back, says Angie. Thank you, Angie, for your message. Here's another. I agree with Ms. Mervis. There are times when journalists ask the police and or victims of incidents some real inappropriate and dangerous questions, the answers to which could put people's lives in danger or jeopardize investigations. I had to call a presenter off air once and ask her if she wanted to lead criminals to the person she was interviewing. And the sad fact is, she is an attorney. That's from Angie. Thank you for your message, Angie. Kevin Galloway, we haven't been able to audition your message just yet, your voice note, to be able to make a determination as to where we go from here. So bear with us. We'll see if perhaps during the commercial break coming up, the extent to which we're able to listen to your message in its entirety, or perhaps a portion. Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada, says, Dervan, my namesake Mac seems to have a what are you trying to say here now? Seems to be confusing the island of Dominica, location of the Commonwealth of Dominica in the Eastern Caribbean, with a country called the Dominican Republic, which one is independent from here to the 1840s. One moment, please.
For any project, ABC Electrical Sales has all your electrical supplies at the best prices. 8 Hagley Park Road, Kingston, 754-3714. The time by ABC Electrical Sales is
3:45. Here is a financial literacy tip from your friends at Power 106 FM. Start an emergency fund. A mantra in personal finance is pay yourself first, which means saving money for emergencies and your future. This simple practice keeps you out of trouble financially and helps you sleep better at night. Life happens, and we do not always have control over when expenses arise. By having an emergency savings account, unexpected finances won't force you to incur debt or throw you too far off your financial plan. To determine the amount you should save, figure out how much you spend each month. Once you get into the habit of saving money, you will stop treating savings as optional and start treating it as a required monthly expense.
Teach them to wait, love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world.
If a child lives with tolerance, he learns to be patient. If a child lives with encouragement, he learns confidence. If a child lives with praise, he he learns to appreciate it. If a child lives with fairness,
Thank you so much for staying with us here on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. H. Morgan in Birmingham says, Hi, Dervan. I did not hear if you did respond to my questions yesterday. If you did, maybe I had gone to bed because of the time difference. I will send the questions again to see if you will pick it up before I go to bed. Hi, Dervan. I hope all is well. Just a question. Yes, we did answer the questions. Yes, we did answer. So Raskabi must not be confused with Raskava. Right. So the usually regular caller to this program is not Raskabi, but Raskava. Hope you're listening. RAS, one word, CARVER, because of his talent and skill in carving and carpentry and crafts and arts, etc. And so I hope you heard this time H. Morgan in Birmingham. And let's also say hi to Joan Newman. She says, blessings, Mr. Malcolm. To you too, Joan Newman. Lucilda Cummings says, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm. How are you doing? All is well? We're fine, thanks. All is as well can be. We're giving thanks. Thank you very much, Lucilda Cummings. Sophia Nemard in Newell, St. Elizabeth. Good afternoon to you. Norman Hines in St. Thomas. Good to have you on board. H. Morgan confirms that he says thank you. So he did hear us make the distinction between Raskarbi, the singer, and Raskava, the artisan. All right, some more messages coming in. This one, where do we start? Back up a bit here. Cherry Henry says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan and listeners. I can't get you on Power 106. The station is out today at Tar Isle, St. Mary. We're terribly sorry to hear that, Cherry Henry. Over to the engineers here at Broadcast House to help resolve that matter. Sorry about that. Cherry Henry says, it let me feel so sad that she's not hearing Power 106 FM today. What a thing. Sorry about that. You have options, though. Maybe you're not inclined to apply those options. For example, you could download the Power 106 FM app and listen to Power 106 on your phone, assuming you are there technologically. If not, then we're really sorry. We just need to impress upon our engineers to move with a little more alacrity and get the system up and running again, so you won't have to miss another episode of Both Sides of the Story here on Power 106 FM. Galloway Kevin says, greetings to you, Mr. Malcolm. Clover Taylor, spouse of the Lord's Christ, and all who are of the household of faith, written in this scripture of truth. Peace to this house, says Galloway Kevin. M. Jam says, Miss Mervis, where is the love and compassion to share and care? Even if we have challenges, the Haitians need all the help. For God so loved the world that he gave his only son. That is our template, says M. Jam. Thank you very much, M, for your message and for contributing to the dialogue on that matter. And the person who sent the next message goes by the moniker, Moniker, by the moniker, I must be the greatest. And this person is sharing with us Philippians 4, verse 13. Let's go on with some of the other messages. Oh, we missed this one from Salah. What was he saying? Dervan, No, we read that one already. So let's go to this one from the Power 106 FM WhatsApp line. Good afternoon, Mr. Is it that this person is making a mistake, or is there a Mr. Morgan out there? I don't know. Good afternoon. Mr. Morgan says the Haitians didn't want. I read this already. We read this already. Thank you anyway. GBO says, hi, Dervan. Did Power 106 have a gentleman by the name of Ronald Thwaites working on this station? The answer is yes. What is that gentleman talking about? He makes me laugh. Where is the evidence that Nationwide supports the JLP? What nonsense. Majority of callers who contact Power 106 are supporters of PNP. Does that mean that Power 106 is peddling the opposition propaganda? Simon indicated that he's sympathetic to the PNP. Does that mean he's peddling the views of the PNP? What nonsense, says GBO. Thank you, GBO, for your message. And Kevin Galloway is back again. What is he saying this time? Super thanks, Master in the heavenly places. All right, Kevin Galloway. Thank you very much for your message. And I would imagine similar sentiments on your recording, because we haven't been able to listen to that just yet. 876-922-4112-5 are the numbers to call. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. That number is 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Now, let's go to the phone lines once again. 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Are you there? Hello? All right, let's move on to the text line, same as the WhatsApp number. A direct call coming through from Steve in Toronto, Canada. Good afternoon, Steve. Welcome.
Good afternoon, Dervan, and good afternoon to your listeners.
You sound a bit distant from your device, though. The device you're using to communicate with us, you're a little too far from it.
Okay, let me quickly adjust that.
Please.
Let me quickly. Are you hearing me any better now?
No, we're still getting more ambience than anything else.
All right, let me adjust that one more time. And 1 minute. Okay. All right, let me do it this way. Are you hearing me better now?
Yeah, a little better, yes.
Okay, awesome. I actually have the device on speakerphone, so
I suspected so.
Yes. So I was just saying good afternoon to my people in Westmoreland, Sablomar in particular, Lennox Figures, and to the Mannings family. Reading a message of people of being labeled or different political labels when they call a radio program. I'm appealing to my people, please don't get caught up in this whole political labeling. We have to move on because it's a political enslavement, and we cannot have our mindset in that way. If someone feels to call a particular radio station, it doesn't really matter. They don't have. We get into this habit that we're born a laborite and we're born a comrade, and because of that, we have a situation where they.
Signal breaking up. Steve, you might want to
political department
position yourself differently. We had some interruptions a while ago. Yes, we had some interruptions on the line. Well, we're hearing you now, so go ahead, please.
Okay, The gist of my message is that we have to stop with this political labeling.
Yes.
Oh.
You were at political labeling. Are you still there?
Let me call you back when I'm in a better position, Dervan.
Sure, please do. Thank you.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Is that Mr. Dervan, Malcolm?
Yes, it is, Mr. Coombs. How are you? Good.
All right, listen me now. Me and my talk about PMP. Me not call nobody name. Me have a lawyer friend named Andrew Rule. He said, Mr. Coombs, me don't good statement, but don't call nobody name. You see the coffee industry? A full big PMP mashup, you know, Mr. Malcolm. The coffee industry is full PMP mashup. Let me tell you something. Me born the 24th of July, 1937. You know where the coffee factory used to be, Mr. Dervan?
Where?
You know St. Mary? You know going to Portland? Before we reach the border of St. Mary and Portland, or the name Dover, D-O-V-E-R. By the right hand side of big white building, look, about 10 chain before the coffee factory on the right hand. And you left and you bag go, St. Mary, cricket club, no St. Mary, Dover, sport ground by the left hand side, and you have the border right there. And then the coffee factory was. All the Blue Mountain coffee, all about in St. Mary. And they used to be the people coming up van. Me have 10 bucks, you have 20 bucks, and you chat and your friend come and sell. The children, them looking children that me live in the castle. We was all chain and net up here, Gibraltar. And a man tell 5:36 o'clock, you get children, them girl, with them paint for your coffee was selling before you were at school. Right, so me I tell you, you ask anybody that. And you see 406, me now to that PMP station. But you see, I farm talk. You had the culture of business, no agriculture, the chemical. And them support farm talk, so they must have talk. If some people don't talk a man, 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
No, man, I'm sure the program is more diverse than that. You don't have other people, other areas. It's not only about fertilizer.
No, other people come on. Me go and find you, but Mr. Kum young that 2 minutes. Mr. John Bow, you have 1.5 minutes. You get 5 or 20 maybe between somebody. Sometimes me can't get on.
Yes, but it's also due to sponsorship. The segments are sponsored.
Yeah, me not tell you that. Me never good to all right, it's me. Me never know say me know when 401 is coming, but me never remember.
When was that?
406.
When did it come in?
About 30 years now. I could be looking more before when you find it so.
It went on air first on the 1st of December, 1992.
How much is that?
Yeah, that's 31 years.
Mr. About, come here to 2 years.
Yeah.
You see me now, we have no record. All right, listen me. This thing called Radar. It come in 1982.
Hold on. Tell us some more about RADA after the break.
If a child lives with
At Wellington Dental, they offer cleaning, filling, whitening, and other services for the entire family. The time by Wellington Dental is
4 o'clock.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:02. Quelle heure est-il en français? Les 4:02. Hiện tại, thì điện là 4:02. 2 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House, 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you had a checkup lately? If not, now is a good time. Let's not wait till we get sick to get a checkup. How about that? Checking in with more on your program, Both Sides of the Story, Paro 106 FM. Taking your calls on 876-922-4112-5. 876-922-4112-5. The text line, same as the WhatsApp number, which means you can not only send us your text messages, your WhatsApp messages, your voice notes, but you can call us on WhatsApp as well. 876-365-3346. 876-365-3346. Donovan Campbell says, good day, Mr. Malcolm and listeners. To you too, Donovan Campbell. Thanks for tuning in and all the very best to you. Natalie Winter says, look, Dervan, once the Haitians come to Jamaican shores and want to stay here and seeking some formal residency, they should be allowed to do so. So says Natalie from Washington Gardens in St. Andrew. Let's continue with more on your program. In fact, let's go back to the caller online. Who's that? Mr. Coombs? Mr. Coombs?
Yes, Mr. Malcolm,
Yes.
welcome back.
Thanks for holding. Yes.
We were the business. We come in 19, when Mr. Mando in 72, about a year after. Mr. Horace Clark, we come in. Mr. Horace Clark, Banangwell, here my parish, district, Belfield, top Belfield, we come on back on Belfield. The other man named George with Soa, S-U-E-R, S-U-E-R, but we make a man no education, and he doesn't know. But then changing him to George S-U-E-H, but S-U-E-R is so meanwhile pieces go through. So we understand and changing him to Soa. You get it?
No.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking joke. You look at it, my wife was Soa. My wife and George Soa, two brother children. When you and James Soa,
That's S-E-W-E-R?
Yes, S-U-E-R, especially. My wife is Joshua, my married Joshua.
S-U-E-R would mean to someone who sues somebody.
No,
So,
the one who carries for me. Yeah, you're right.
S-E-W-E-R.
Yeah. But George is so now change it to S-U-E-H, Saw.
S-U-A.
S-U-A-H.
Oh, Saw. S-U-A-H. I see.
Right, so.
Trying to escape the sewage.
Yeah, right. So
okay.
Why change it? Education, but then you want to joke all the way. But me also bad, but you know, so me sensible. And he laugh, he said, why you ask me that all the way? You go along me and your family.
Yeah.
Why you ask me this one? Where you come? Where you here? And you want to imagine yourself. And me say that right. Someone carry you this matter. He said, who to do that? He said, me go to school, you know. And we have it up, and we know I go further. Every Sunday when he's in Jamaica, his wife is African. He come here have dinner down here with Indian food. Every Christmas he go and son him when I son a doctor, when I mean a big man up in America. And he said this my cousin, you have my Indian thing, put in the fridge. I want it up. You have 3 things. The peas you want, you want to peas in there. We leave that, my wife leave that for him. And when you call gulgula, and when you call kurma, come sweetie. My wife ever wrap up separate and put in the fridge. When you come straight off and warm it up, don't you thank you for your wife. So you love Indian food. So Mr. Always put him in the radio business. They want to live one place America. And Mr. Always for the man to come pay somewhere and pay somewhere and come immediately back up and come. No pack up every floor and come and when you come in the job. So give him pay no rent and the same landlord pack up in thing and ship it out. When you want to come in the plane one Saturday evening, when you come came my house, somebody was Jamaica will travel after and 5 minutes you come up from foreign and in Saturday, so what is that? What is what you getting down here and really to say Matalan bill from house in your independent city? All right, you come Saturday and go signing over more than Tuesday in beg to time and go Harbour Street and he pay up on my house. Me tell you, when me moving things come from anything come up from well, you think you when you don't come and you don't question. So you don't do wild and you get struck. Me still find struck one day, and when me look, me want to say, me still find it, and the man you call me, you know, now we jump over here. You just too wild part struck. He said, don't do that. All right, and so come, I'll tell you the life story. And him get the job. So me say, tell me something, you ain't labor, but he said, how you come here, this thing here? He said, my son, no, my brother, you have to blow your business, you have to blow the tide. If you come Spanish town, you can't ride your bicycle at town, you have to walk, but if you blow, walk down from town, you buy the breeze blow you down, so you have to blow, no, you know, make talk about. Yeah. Anyway, money, you have to join with you, so come in. So I'm not, where that PMP business, PMP, where the PMP thing.
What do you mean by that?
When PMP get benefit when we mean.
Really?
When you park there and after and you go grant the money, you might have the people and you might loan. So if you wash and you can't get it, we not going to detail, you know that, but you're not fool. Come back with the coffee again. When the coffee come in that stream, Mr. Man, you go for it, you go lease and plant coffee. Keep the money out of east, you go buy the lease land too. And when the man go put, I mean, I can't run you, Mr. Tim say, hello, sir. You know what Chipson in Portland, that property there? Oh, yes, you know, who own it? I say, oh, yes, I know it do. You don't want by Mr. Dunbar, you know. I say, I know. And you know the man go buy it. Oh, yes, I know. I can't run him. So, Mr. Malcolm, I know things this week, man. I read them, man, you know.
That's why I don't understand why you don't want to record the history. There's just so much, but you can't be bothered. That's a pity. All of that is going to no. You after a while, you know. I mean, we all exit at some point.
Yeah.
But you with all that information and knowledge, it would make for fascinating and arresting reading. But again, it's your choice. So,
well, me not can't nobody, but Jamaica know. Jamaica know. Mr. Malcolm, let me tell you something. You think this is that me know right on Jamaica. If Macho, anybody going must take something. But they take too much. Mr. Malcolm, Jamaica could have blue, me know. You see banana, we live about carry about half mile from banana, the radio station, and every man will go down. When banana buy every Monday. My father, my work and we go to school. The lady named Mrs. Queen, job with training. You see, Mr. Combs, his 5 car training did with him, car coach, you know. Banana. We have put on to the place where they have put on. You know about put on. All right. Everything you want. My car, Boston man, 1958. You know how people in Carolina strike. So you want more money. When better ship up, I put that on, you know. I do care coach a banana, probably Mr. Malcolm. When you care about it, probably up full care about full train load care. Our station, when you come back, Mr. Malcolm, when you look in the banana, you call them up, you see that we send them cat and a cow and dry away for a while. You have to kill by dealer for the cane, I feel what same place too.
All right, Mr. Combs, we're gonna give you a rain check on this one for now.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Look about it. 1 year.
All right.
Everything everything. Hold on, nice. Hold on.
Yes.
Everything can have 1 year.
That's right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. Hello, good afternoon. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Mr. Dervan Malcolm.
Good afternoon, Mr. Carter. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good, Mr. Malcolm. I'm better for hearing your program.
Thank you.
Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
A lot of Russian soldiers are dying in the war. And Russia has offered to buy some guns and ammunition from North Korea. It's official.
So their armory has been depleted already?
No, what I mean is that Russia had estimated about 20 million rounds of
ammunition in their armory, but they are estimated that they use up about 11 million of it. As a result, they can replenish it at the rate that they need, so they're buying extra weapons from North Korea, just like how NATO is looking weapons from all its allies. So both sides are running out of ammunition. That is conventional ammunition because they don't go to the nuclear yet. You see how dangerous the war has become now, Mr. Malcolm.
Indeed.
And we are here talking about CNP and JLP politics.
Well, people will always talk about what they know.
What is politics, my professor?
What is politics?
What is your best definition of politics?
It's managing the affairs of man.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Malcolm. I lift you up. Mr. Malcolm, there was a former minister of education, a woman. She named Maxine Henry Wilson. She said that in Jamaica, politics is about who gets what,
when, and how.
And where.
And where.
Yeah, that's what Miss Maxine Henry Wilson said. Do you think that she was wrong, sir?
Well, she was sharing her perspective on politics.
As a minister of education.
Based on her experience.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Now, Mr. Malcolm, I'll tell you something again, yeah? And you know it too. You can judge a person by not what they say, you know, but how they treat old people, how they treat rubbish, how they treat plants and animals, and other people who can't do nothing for them. That's how I judge people, you know.
Yes.
How you treat old people, people who can't do nothing for you, dog, animals and plants. And I look at you and I sum you up how you treat rubbish.
Yes, you don't have to tell people who you are. People can tell who you are.
Yes. So now I come to say now they're planning to raise the bus fare.
All right, hold on. Let's come back to bus fares after this.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:15. Power 106 FM, the digital sound, now reaching you in more ways. Listen to us on 106.1 to 106.9 on the FM band. You can also listen to us on the Power 106 FM app, which you can download on the Google Play Store or the App Store. Plus, listen to us on onespotmedia.com and the One Spot Media app, or log on to go.
¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:10. Son las 4. You know, something just happened to me. All of a sudden, I'm confronted with the Chinese equivalent of what I was about to say, but the Chinese just wouldn't come. Let's try this again. ¿Qué hora es en español? Son las 4:16. Quelle heure est-il en français? Il est 4:16. 现在几点了？4点16分. 16 minutes past 4 o'clock in the afternoon here at Broadcast House 32 Lyndhurst Road, Kingston 5, St. Andrew, Jamaica. Have you done your homework yet? If not, now is a good time. Good afternoon to all the students listening to us, all the schoolers from the early childhood level to the secondary level. Trust you had a productive day of learning today. Hope you also managed to get in some physical activity, just as important as mental activity. As we always say, young people, socialization makes you educable. Education makes you trainable. Training makes you employable. And the right attitude makes you successful. Homework time, young people. Let's get back to Mr. Carter on the subject of bus fares. Welcome back.
Yes, Mr. Malcolm, I'm saying bus fare going to go up to $180. There's about 30,000 taximen and transport operator in the system, according to Dervan, Minister of Transport, right? Did you know that if we get those 30,000 people, most of them get $20,000 a week, Mr. Malcolm? And if we get them to throw the NIS just to take better care of old people, we would have gotten $36 million more per week in the NIS coffers.
Sounds like you've been doing the math.
Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
I'm a trained accountant here, sir.
I know.
Yeah, but I don't brandish my credentials in the system, you know, because
I recognize that.
Yeah, I live a very simple life. Mr. Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
None of the investment that the NIS has can match that investment coming in from these people as they pay the NIS. And the irony about it, you know, Mr. Malcolm, is that I never caught I have approximately $3 million sitting down in the NIS pool at Ripon Road, you know. Every month I file my SO1 personally at the tax office.
Careful that you don't call down crowd on the NIS office, you know.
No, but Mr. Malcolm, when I get old, I'm going to retire about 15 years' time. And when I get old, that money is in danger based on how the NIS is managed. Because when the bus fare raised, the extortion man in Arfetry and downtown and Milton and Spanish Town, they're going to go to the taxi man for more extortion money. The loader man going to move from $50 a load to $70, and the taxi man going to pay them and not thinking about his NIS that he's supposed to pay, so that other NIS workers who take in taxi can get a better benefit, and no politician talking about that. Why, Mr. Malcolm?
Yeah, because it's not popular, because it's not sexy.
It's not sexy.
No.
You know why? Because the government, the biggest revenue earner for the government last year was what they call GCT, General Consumption Tax. So they don't really want the money to go back in the NIS pool, you know. They would prefer you go take it and buy some food so that them can collect the GCT and to hell with all people. Like all my mother who is 80 and only getting $16,000 a month from the NIS. That can be fair, Mr. Malcolm.
Well, this is the thing. I always say that pension money is not belly full. That's the sad reality, the way I'm putting it, the sad reality, because we're talking funds that have been invested and saved and otherwise earmarked. And then you have a situation where there's a significant, about 90% or so of our population, of our working population, that has nothing to show for it in terms of...
Exactly. Yes. Mm-hmm. So, Mr. Malcolm, appealing to the taximen especially and the minibus operators, when the bus fare rate, let your employer give you a pay slip on your smartphone. They don't have to give you the slip in person. They can just send your pay slip to your smartphone and your WhatsApp. And make sure those statutory deductions come out of your pay. Because when you're old and the prostate cancer is real, when it take over a lot of males, they're going to want support from the NIS. Mr. Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
You believe a NIS work, a NIS pension was pay NIS and NHD should come down to ridicule to go on the PART program? Don't you think the NIS pension scheme should have been a more elevated program than the PART program, sir?
It's one of the first in the, I don't want to say in the world, but in the hemisphere, the one that we have here in Jamaica.
So you tell me now, a man like Buster Manti, in all his wisdom,
Bustamante. But Bustamante never ever have a good secondary school education, but he come up with NIS. And you mean say Bustamante come up with that for the whole people them. And your successive government are use the NIS like it's a joke.
There's another name I was trying to remember. I don't think he would have been the primary source. There's a, oh gosh, what's that name people always call when they talk about NIS? Somebody will remember. No, man, in terms of an individual.
Oh, when them time they made a soul them around made a soul and the tree and the tree brothers and Bustamante and Norman Manley around the decision making.
There's a name that I'm accustomed to hearing associated with the NIS. Let me see if I can do a quick search. NIS founder. Let me try that. Jamaica. Lyndon G. Newland.
Newland, the man there.
Yes.
Part of the 3M.
Yeah. He was instrumental in the establishment of the NIS back in 1966.
Calling upon the government and I putting it on Andrew Holness job description and Nigel Clark. I see you're taking out 11 billion every year out of the NHT. Please, sir, take out 11 billion out of the NHT and put it in the NIS and boost up the NIS because all of us who pay NIS every month have to pay NHT.
Does the law allow for that? That movement of the funds?
We can make laws. We can.
No, I'm just asking. I'm asking because it would have to be so. It would have to be so for it to happen.
Yeah, well, we can change the law just like how they change the law to take out the money.
That's the point I'm making.
And build police station.
That's the point I'm making.
Another thing I want to tell the minibus operators and the taximen. Transport Worldwide run off a system named pay as you enter. You know that, Mr. Malcolm?
Mm-hmm.
When you go in a JUTC bus, you have to pay before you can go and sit down. And the JUTC bus drivers, most of them get a retroactive penalty of between 300,000 to 600,000 based on the salary increase that went on in the government. They also have pensions, Mr. Malcolm. 3/4 of their salary will be the pension when they retired. You taxmen out there who giving roaderman and extortion man their pension money and not saving none in the NIS, not at all. When the bus fare raise to pay, you must go PAYE. Let the customer them pay you as they enter your taxi because the 180 going to cause problem for a lot of people in Dervan. A lot of people not going to want to pay this.
In terms of making change, people might want to round it off.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Professor.
There's something you have to be mindful of when you're in the pricing business. Once you're doing any kind of pricing, you have to consider.
That's what I tell you, and to cause war, the taximen, them in Africa, and some violent traveler will go to war and create crime, don't you, my professor?
Yeah.
So if the taximen monitor and come to an agreement that you're going to pay me when you enter your taxi, just like the JUTC, show them pension so that the whole money can go back into a scheme. Don't we have a better 2030 and 2040, Mr. Malcolm, when we get old?
All other things being equal, yes.
All other things. Hey, you see, you Dervan, you're the optimist, you know, because the politics may change in Dervan. Because
it's changing even now. It's changing even now.
Changing even now. The politics, I'm never leaving with this Dervan. You know that a 40 year working in the studio up by our yard here. And they come in the studio and find 70 gun. They didn't find 70 gun. You know the 40 I want to go to jail.
Yes.
But then go up for SSL, 40 of them working in the office, and then find 70 cases of malfeasance and people account. And it's only one person who confessed their jail. What does that tell you about the law of this country?
Well, they could very well argue that they have to take a more scientific, meticulous, and there's a term of financial forensics, basically, in order to ensure that they are catching in the net exactly those who need to be caught in the net.
Mr. Malcolm, I will leave you with this, and I want the people to leave me. Listen to me carefully, please and thanks. My name is Neville George Carter. I was born and bred in this country. I go to a lot of school thanks to the taxpayer of Jamaica. And as a student of accounts, I'm going to tell you this, Mr. Malcolm.
Yes.
And I'm going to put my life on it. Nothing will come of the SSL saga.
All right, we're making...
You know what they're using the SSL as a template, as a case study for?
What's that?
And let me tell the people them how to implement the needs. You hear me tell you? How to implement the what? The needs that's coming. Because the financial sector of Jamaica is in such a bind. I'm going to tell the tax man them too. You see a credit rating, you know credit rating, Dervan?
Yes, man.
Dervan, the people in Jamaica don't understand what is credit score and how to protect them credit rating. Because when the needs drop, and you're going to the bank to go borrow money, and your grandfather you have to go bring come to touch the money, you know that, Dev?
Yeah, it's an exaggeration, but we get the point. Yes.
Because Dervan, the SSL, they're using it as a template to tell the people them that if you don't take the needs, they'll cut you off from the money supply because what they want to know to prevent these.
No, man, that would be discrimination, which means somebody or the government itself might very well be taken to court.
Politics is about who gets what, when, and where. To be continued, Professor.
Thanks for the call. Take care. Your program, both sides of the story, for 106 FM. We have a backlog of messages right now. It's a minute to the break. Xavier says, Mr. Dervan, could you please tell the people that the Haitians didn't intend to come to Jamaica? They intended to go to the USA. Mr. Morgan, Jamaican minister, says they wanted to go back to Haiti when they realized they were in Jamaica. The Haitians don't want to stay in Jamaica. So could we stop sympathizing? They don't want to be here in Jamaica, says Xavier. More in a moment.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:30. There's a retirement crisis in Jamaica, with only approximately 10% of the working population saving towards retirement. Many people do not participate in a formal pension plan, such as contract workers and the self-employed, and some are not eligible for a government pension. Every member of the workforce has the opportunity to participate in a pension plan and secure a monthly income for their retirement. Join Real Business every Monday at 9:30 a.m. for an informative discussion with Peter Rose Hall, Managing Director of BPM Financial, discussing the importance of retirement planning and the solutions to move Jamaica out of this crisis. Retirement wealth creation is brought to you by BPM Financial Limited, taking you higher.
He learns to feel guilty.
Children love what they read. Children live what they love. Teach them to wait, to love in the heart.
Here's another one. This one says, hello, hello, Power FM. I hope you are fine. I'm Saddam, listening from Kenya through TuneIn. I have been following your program for a while here in Mombasa, and I like it a lot. Keep up with the great work. God bless Jamaica and Kenya, says Saddam, who has been listening to us from Kenya. Thank you very much, Saddam, for joining us here on both sides of the story, all the way from Kenya. This one says the criminals are gearing up for elections instead of resigning from our offices so that Jamaica can have some peace. So says Barry. And Raskava asks, where's the message? Have you heard of this? All right, this is something we'll have to read off air. That came in yesterday. This is today. Oh, Oh dear. All right. Okay. I would love to get some more information to see what that is about, Raskava. Thank you. Franklin McDonald in Guelph, Canada, is using Britannica politics. Who gets what, when, how, work by Laswell. So this is a confirmation that Maxine Henry Wilson perhaps did not originate those words, but that there was someone else or some other grouping or some other positioning. All right, we're coming. We know the messages are there and the calls are piling up as well. And calls are coming in. I think Steve McDonald is trying to get back on, but I think someone got ahead of him already in terms of the time when the message came in. All right, we'll see if we can read this information on our own, this Britannica. So listeners, you might want to Google it if you want to get more information on the phrase who gets politics, who gets what, when, how. Work by Laswell, Lasswell. All right, we'll see if we can look that up a little later. Neville Solomon reminded us it was L.G. Newland. And thank you very much, Salah. That's the name we're trying to remember. And one last one before we go back to the calls. Barbara says, Mr. Malcolm, good afternoon to you and your listeners all over the world. Today is the anniversary of Gilbert. Let some of the young people know a little about it. Thank you and have a great afternoon. God bless. Thank you very much, Miss Babs. Thank you. Before the show is over for today. In time, though, let's go to the phone lines once again. Let's see what I have on this side, this call, and you can tell me, Davin, if the caller you have on your end has been holding longer than this. Oh, Lord, 18.5 minutes. Let's take that caller right now. Good afternoon. Thanks for calling. Thanks for your patience. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good afternoon, Mr. Malcolm.
Good afternoon.
Yeah, man. The MP for St. Thomas, Lyndon Newland, was Eastern St. Thomas. And I hear never saying that Mustaman brought about the NIF. And he didn't have a good secondary education. But that is on me. Mustaman was a highly educated man. There's only some people say him as a moron. And what Newland was able to do was due to the instrumentality of Bustamante, the Prime Minister. And people should know that when that NIS came into being, in 1966, the PNP turned it back and called it sin. That's a big level of politics that was practiced from that time. The next thing, because you have politics and Jamaica. What never tell you about Maxine Henry Wilson? Maxine Henry Wilson said, politics is about who get what, when, and how. We're talking about where should it say? Is how. And you know what that entails at the time? The Pickersville Accreditation Committee that gave priority to commitment to socialism rather than skill. And that was to bring victimization to its highest level. Never said he's an accountant, and I believe it. But when he talks about GCT and how much the government is going to derive from taxation and increased prices.
So just to confirm that this is the standard in reference to politics globally. In politics, who gets what, when, how. And this is a work, a publication by Lasswell, Lasswell. It's in politics, who gets what, when, how, 1936, a work whose title later served as the standard lay definition of politics. He viewed the elite as the primary holders of power, but in Power and Society, a framework for political inquiry, 1950, written by Abraham Kaplan. And the discussion goes on.
Yeah, man, because the elite is a bourgeois, you know. And on the other hand, you have the servants that work in the field. So those who study socialism, they will understand that how it works, and it is not a good thing that you don't have any equality under socialism. Because as Winston Churchill said, capitalism is the unequal distribution of wealth, and socialism is the equal distribution of poverty. Socialism can only work in two places: in heaven where it is not needed, and in hell where they already have it. And when it comes to taxation, you know that taxation will bring additional revenue to the government in terms of GCT. So Neville is right with that. But when he's saying that when the government concentrates on GCT, it is not thinking about the whole people. If you don't eat food, you are not going to get old in order to collect any pension. So food is important to man in order to provide goods. And also the bus fare increase, going up to $180. Mentioned what is the present figure and the level of increase. I am not against increase in bus fare.
What's the present level?
I don't know what is the present figure that he is referring to. But I know that in rural Jamaica, the last time when bus fare increase was granted at 15%, nothing like that takes place in my neck of the woods. Because when I travel to St. Anne's, we have to pay 33 and 1/3% increase. And if I travel to Manu, we have to pay 27.7%. So what I want Mr. Vance to do is when this bus fare increase come about, is make sure that price is inspectorate in the transportation sector. See to it that the level of increase that is granted is adhered to by the transport operators. Because the poor people are taxed to the earth. Cannot bear any more taxes, whether large or small.
Well, what we're seeing right now are routes in Kingston and St. Andrew. Essex Hall to Stony Hill, $145. Mount Salus to Stony Hill, $120. Lawrence Tavern. Freetown to Lawrence Tavern, $150. Mount Industry to Lawrence Tavern, $170. Halfway Tree to Maxfield Avenue, $110. Chisholm Avenue to downtown, $130. Jonestown to downtown, $130. And it goes on. It's listed on the Transport Authority website.
Yeah, well, those will decide to be increased, but in rural Jamaica, people pay much more higher levels for transportation, both in terms of adults and children. So it is much more expensive to live in rural Jamaica than the corporate area. And Kingston is not Jamaica.
Although the housing prices are more favorable in rural Jamaica than in corporate centers and the corporate area in general.
Yeah, well, that is factual.
Right.
But basically, I hope that what I've been said will give some food for thought to the people listening out there. because as well say, it's dread out there. But we need clear and concise plans and programs and implementation, not conceptualization, to put Jamaica on the right track to prosperity.
I hear you loud and clear. The campaign is on. Thank you very much for the call. Take care. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM. So let's go to this caller who has been holding for 17 minutes and 39 seconds. Thanks for your patience and understanding. Good afternoon. Go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, Brother Malcolm. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. And you?
Great. My name is Giovanni Byfield, man, out of St. Mary.
Welcome, Giovanni Byfield, out of St. Mary.
Discuss a small issue. One of the issue is that of ATM machines, right? One of the things that I find is that in our commerce, you have two ATM machines. One with
You can just say ATMs. The M is for machine, automated teller machine, ATM. So you can just say ATM as opposed to ATM machine. You don't need to say machine. Right, go ahead. That's all right.
Right. And then if most times the ones in our commerce, they are not working, or they're out of service, or out of cash, and you have to leave now from our commerce to either Port Maria or the next machine between our commerce is in St. John, that's White River, right? Which hardly have cash. In Gale as well, you have two ATM machines. You have one Scotiabank by the farm store, and then you have the JN machine, which doesn't take certain cards by the JN Bank. I think that, these authorities need to put in, the banking institution need to put in some more ATM machines so the people can benefit. And it also allows for the economic activities in the parish and that side to benefit. Because if I'm buying, for example, if I want to buy fruits from Marvin in our commissions, and I can't put any money on the ATM machine, Marvin now doesn't use link or etc. I have to go to wherever in Otres. And you know what happened now, Mr. Malcolm? I'm not going back to our community to spend that money.
Yeah, so the community loses.
The community loses. And then if we're talking about safety then, we have Era 2 HQ out in Pampana Bay where, that's the police Era HQ. Why not put one or two ATM machines there? That's not really bridge the gap between having to go to Poacher and having to go to Port Maria.
Well, this is it. No, they obviously need to be a little more strategic in deploying these ATMs. That is going to be key going forward. Hold the line, please. Let's take the break. But we also have that problem in the corporate area sometimes, moving from machine to machine, trying to get money. One moment, please.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
4:45.
Shareholders in Radio Jamaica Limited, please be advised that our next annual general meeting will be held on Thursday, September 21, 2023, at the Terra Nova All-Suite Hotel, 17 Wotulu Road, Kingston, commencing at 10 a.m. The meeting will also be streamed live via Zoom. We ask that persons wishing to view the live stream register to do so via the following link, rjrgleanagroup.com/agm/virtually. Please note that only shareholders on record and members of staff will be allowed access to the live stream. Notices of the meeting, along with a cover letter and the form of proxy, have been emailed to shareholders in Jamaica as required by our rules. You can download the full annual report document from our website, rjrgleanagroup.com/publications, or the website of the Jamaica Stock Exchange. You can contact our office via WhatsApp number 876-860-7921 and share an email address if you would like the annual report sent to you via email. Alternatively, you can collect a copy of the report at one of our offices at 32 Lingers Road or 7 North Street in Kingston, 23 Orange Street in Montego Bay, Shop 16 Point Plaza in Ocho St. Anne, or Shop 9 Midway Mall in Mandeville, Manchester. That was a notice to shareholders of Radio Jamaica Limited regarding the upcoming annual general meeting scheduled for Thursday, September 21, 2023.
Children, what they love. to wait. Love in the heart. They will find out.
Thanks a lot for holding. We'll give you an opportunity to complete what you were saying before the break. Please go ahead.
Yes, Sir Malcolm, not a problem. Right, so I was saying that it affects the economic activities of not only the parish, but the communities that should benefit. And then to add to the fuel to that fire is that when you're moving from one point to the next, like to move from Gale to Utrecht, the roads are atrocious. You understand? So we need for the banking system to do better. And just like you said, more strategic in the placement of where they put these ATM.
Yes.
Right? So that the people can feel a sense of it's a headache whenever you're trying to get money. To see the crowd, for example, in Arokabes are using that one ATM, right? It's like it's just a headache, just a headache, really. And I'm just appealing to the relevant authorities to try and look and see if we can do something for the coast, because a lot of business are on the coast as well. Stuart Town is booming, Arokabes is booming. Like I said, we have Pampana Bay, where here to HQ is at a safe location for them to place to machine. So that was my cry today, Sir Malcolm.
All right. Thank you very much for sharing your experience. Sorry that you have had to endure this this kind of treatment by virtue of the ATMs not being up and functional as they should. We trust that it will work out in the end. If not, well, you might have to seek representation to ensure that you're not you don't appear to be discriminated against by those who make the decisions. But thank you very much for your call, and please keep us posted if there are any further developments in your area. Please let us know.
I'll definitely let you know, Sir Malcolm.
All right. Take care.
Blessings.
Blessings to you too. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com, live on your smart devices all over the world. Some messages coming in. Let's see. Inez Ayona Campbell says, good afternoon, Mr. Dervan. Good afternoon, Miss Inez and viewers. A very hot day here in Jamaica. Welcome home, Inez Ayona Campbell. I had no idea you were home. Welcome. Welcome. Not in Connecticut today. Oliver Masters says Mr. N.G. Carter is a very mannerable person to his professor. And Oliver says, I will listen much more keenly to hear of my most favorite caller, who I do appreciate a great deal. Miss Mervis is also one of my most favorite callers, says Oliver Masters. Thank you very much for your message, Oliver Masters, and all the best. And let's see if we can clear a few more of these messages. Going up the line. Ren says, Sir D, is this ATM guy not aware of the criminals stealing the ATMs? Ren. Yeah, well, this is the thing. Sadly, someone is attacked at the hospital. Do you, of necessity, lock down the entire hospital and that's it? Or do you then try to deal with that matter while you continue to serve those who are in need of medical treatment? This is life. and things happen. So the question is, what do we do when stuff happens? We pivot. Isn't that the term we have learned from COVID-19? P-I-V-O-T, pivot. And pivot is what we continue to do. So whether or not people are stealing the ATMs, people still need to do business. People have business to take care of, bills to pay, and some life-saving decisions to make as well. Do you then just say, well, them robbing, them thieving the ATM? So what is the big deal about? I mean, it is what it is. They're thieving the ATM, so that's why you can't get to. No, we are hoping for a little more than that. That there is a think tank within that organization or among those stakeholders that will give members of the general public a greater sense of assurance that even if there have to be limitations, that as a group concerned about serving the people of this country, you will find a way. You will find a way. Which one of our financial institutions has that as a tagline? I think it's JN, will help you find a way. That's the idea. That has to be the energy. That has to be the spirit. That has to be the approach that we take on these matters. Because this is the world. The world doesn't stop to turn. It doesn't stop turning, I should say. The world doesn't stop turning. I keep remembering the London Eye, this massive Ferris wheel, or what appears to be a massive Ferris wheel with these cubicles, and you can see the greater metropolitan area, generally London and surrounding areas. Fantastic. It doesn't stop. It just keeps going. And people are constantly getting on the London Eye and getting off without missing a step. That's the story of life. It's called continuity of purpose. All right, let's go to who is this now? This looks like Sean. Good afternoon, Sean. Go ahead, please.
Hi, Uncle Dervan, Malcolm. How are you doing?
I am fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm great so far. I'm here taking it easy. I'm here chilling and relaxing. Teacher, I have one thing to say to you. One Friday morning, you see, I was watching a morning show on PCM, and they were talking about the school bags that write down. And how could somebody write down on a school bag?
What did they write on the school bag?
Down. It is the topic of discussion. I see it on a red school bag when I was.
I'm sorry you missed the discussion yesterday. We had a discussion including, this was one of the topics touched on yesterday. Sorry you missed that.
Yeah. The person don't have no need to do that. Because the mother saying that you have to be careful what you say about people, and you must be careful about how you treat people.
Okay.
Because a person must not call a person down. We must tell them that they are smart, they are intelligent, they are bright, they are unique. You know, that kind of thing.
Words of encouragement. We're going to have to leave it there, though. Sorry you missed the discussions yesterday and the general comments that flowed in yesterday. But happy you were able to get in a word today. Thank you very much for the call.
Yeah, it sounds very controversial.
It is.
Yeah,
all right. Thank you. All the best. Bye-bye. This is your program, Both Sides of the Story, Power 106 FM, still streaming live on the Gleaners website, go-jamaica.com. Live on your smart devices all over the world. and just about getting ready to wrap. Can we thank you once again for the privilege of serving you on yet another edition of your program, Both Sides of the Story, for today, Tuesday, the 12th of September, 2023. The moving finger writes, and having writ moves on, nor all your piety nor wit shall lure it back to cancel half a line, nor all your tears wash out a word of it. All things being well, Both Sides of the Story returns tomorrow afternoon, 2 to 5. Till then, this is Dervan Malcolm reminding all of us that every day is an opportunity to do better than yesterday. Take care.
Praise, he learns to appreciate. If a child lives with fullness, he learns justice. If a child lives with security, he learns to have faith. If a child lives with approval, he learns to like himself. If a child lives with acceptance and friendship, he learns to find love in the world.
Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in their hearts, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live. Children live what they learn. Teach them to wait, to love in their heart, and they will find love in the world. Children learn what they live.
Bye.
You're listening to Power 106 FM. The time is now
5 o'clock.
News, comprehensive, powerful, and credible.
Power 106 FM now presents a simulcast of Radio Jamaica's news at 5.